Hey everybody! So today is the next iteration of my perfume collection, and I'm very happy to tell you a little bit about the 4 perfumes that are currently in my rotation. So I have a stash, ginormous stash, and in that stash reside a variety of my babies, my perfumes. Out of this stash, occasionally I will pick, whenever the mood strikes me, a few perfumes that satisfy my current cravings, fragrance cravings, and I will keep them out to use them for a couple of months. I keep them out because that way it's easier for me to pick, it's just on my vanity, and I have beautiful bottles standing right on my vanity, just making me happy. Normally they're in my bedroom and I keep them out of light and out of heat. But the rest of my collection is securely locked into a bit of a cupboard so that they are not penetrated by light at all. This is how I store my fragrances, but today I'll tell you about the 4 that are out right now, and I'm enjoying quite a bit. There are a couple of sweet things, a couple of floral things, a little bit of everything. So let's start, I think, with this guy. This is Yves Rocher, Pommes Delice, Eau de Toilette. This is a limited edition Yves Rocher scent that comes out every year. Now, why do I keep buying these things every year? Generally because they are desserts. They're not like sickly sweet vanilla. They are usually quite a fruity dessert, and they fit the colder weather quite well. This is my casual scent. This is not a kind of scent I will wear in public, but it is the kind of scent that I wear at home around my husband, just, you know, having a good time, cuddling, watching a movie, whatever you do with your partner. This is what we do. But this one he really enjoys. Actually, he enjoyed every single Yves Rocher that I bought. This one is the Apple Delight one, and this is from last year. This is from last Christmas. This year's limited edition I haven't gotten my hands on quite yet, but I will. Wait, I'll tell you all about it when I do, if I do. The year before this one, it was caramelized pears, and that was also really lovely and wonderful, and brought me a lot of happy hours of sniffing. So this juice is about 1/3 empty. I anticipate that this winter I'm going to probably finish it off. Next casual scent that you will be surprised by is Britney Spears Curious. This is an old bottle. I've had it for a while. The scent has not gone off. Now, why am I talking about this one? Why did I pull it out? I was missing it. And I was missing the awesomeness that is this scent. Me, I'm not a huge fan of very sweet fragrances. La Vie est Belle makes me gag a little bit. This one is very tolerable for me. Even persons who do not love sweet fragrances will be able to at least tolerate. Curious in Control by Britney Spears. Now, Britney Spears is one of the celebrities whose scents I actually do sniff and evaluate and oftentimes purchase. I'm not sure why, but with her, somehow she creates a bit of a nostalgic yearning for youth for me, some kind of nostalgic wishing of the 90s to have been back, of the early 2000s when Britney was shaking it up and she was on top of all the charts, and somehow it makes me happy and creates a bit of glee. Just, you know, it's nice, it's fun. She's always fun with her fragrances. Her fragrances aren't serious, they're just fun, smiley, and, you know, girly. Now, this one is a bit more grown up than her fantasy line. Her fantasy line was something I wore as a teenager, therefore it transitioned into my adult life as a comfort scent, simply because it just connects memories of being young and frivolous and having a good time and not having many responsibilities. It connects me to that feeling, and it's a very precious feeling to hold on to. Now, this In Control, it doesn't have the same sort of scent memory to me, but I can really appreciate the actual scent itself. What is good about this one? Initially, out of the get-go, it is a creme brulee and fruit cocktail. Moreover, I would say it's an alcoholic cocktail. Not because it smells strongly of alcohol, but because I very definitely pick up some liqueur notes when this one goes onto the skin. I prefer to wear it on clothes. I think it wears better on clothes for me. Britney's fragrances, all of them, tend to wear better on clothes and smell better on clothes. So this one, while the opening is a little bit of a burnt creme brulee and sugar and some creaminess in it, and this liqueur note, it's really quite fun, and it evokes sort of feeling of being with your girls out and having like little apéritifs, little liqueurs from the fancy liqueur bottle with some maybe creme brulee or some kind of a fancy dessert in a little cocktail lounge, or maybe like a champagne bar somewhere. And this is quite fun. And then on the dry down, what happens is this guy really gets interesting because the sandalwood comes out more prominently. I have to congratulate Britney, really not Britney, but the nose of this perfume and the lab that was creating this scent on coming up with a sandalwood that is quite decent. To be fair, this is a cheap fragrance. It smells more expensive than it is, yes, for sure, but it does not smell like a niche fragrance. Let's just be clear about it. What it smells like is girly fun, and the sandalwood in it smells like a really, really distant relative, but still a relative of Guerlain's Samsara. That is a wonderful sandalwood balm, and I would recommend it if you love sandalwood. I'll talk about it later. That sandalwood has a slight echo in here. Now, of course, we're not talking about the same kind of scent at all, but this note, this woody, true sandalwood note, really is present in both. In Samsara, that's pure sandalwood. This one, there's a hint. There's this hint of the real deal, which I can really appreciate, especially given the price of the fragrance. So I was really pleasantly surprised by Curious, although the bottle is a bit ridiculous and not super comfortable, in my opinion, to hold. I would have also preferred if it came with a little poof atomizer, but no dice for me. I've used up about a third to a half of this fragrance, and I'm really, really happy with it. I think it's worthwhile to check out, especially given that it's been discontinued. So you can get it for cheap now, but you won't be able to get your hands on it in the future. I might pick up a backup bottle, but then again, with the amount of fragrance that I own, this might not be a very wise decision. Next, we have one that I've mentioned previously in my Burberry video, and it is Burberry Body Gold Limited Edition. This one, I've said before, is pretty much Burberry Body Intense. It's the same kind of scent. I don't think there's much of a difference, if any. To my taste, it seems like they just rebottled the Intense into this gold limited edition and sold it as a new fragrance. Nevertheless, I do like the Intense. I don't own it. I bought the gold and then I've tested the Intense and I was very confused. Why? Because I think I have this fragrance already. Now I've dented this little guy. I think I'm about a third way through it. There are only 60 milliliters in this one. And I don't really have much to add to my review of it. This is a very clean, sterile musk and rose and a bit of white wood. I wouldn't say this is sandalwood. I think here, there's sandalwood here. Here, no, there's this white wood, warm wood, something like that to me, to my nose. Some more florals, but mostly it's rosy musk. And the musk is really quite clean. This resembles very expensive soap to me. So this fragrance I use for work because it's very unobjectionable. It's kind of professional. It's not offensive and not cloying, not too sweet, not spicy, not really much of anything in particular. It's just a pleasant, rosy, musky, soapy fragrance. So if you enjoy that sort of a scent, then this one I would really recommend you check out. Lasting power is decent. Sillage is moderate to not quite skin scent, but it sits fairly close, which is also really good for workplace environments. So in total, if you're not a perfume nut and if you're not after super cool, interesting, and unique scents, if you just want something very wearable, very versatile, and non-offensive, and the quality of which is not going to be poor, I would recommend Burberry Body, absolutely. I doubt that I will repurchase this one though. The last fragrance I will talk about is also a work fragrance for me. This is a bit closer to my personality. It has more personality, let's just say. And this is a new purchase for me. This is Oscar de la Renta Esprit d'Oscar, Spirit of Oscar. Now why is this interesting? It really caught me by surprise because, as you can see, it's quite new. I've impulsively purchased it because on the opening it really reminded me of one of my absolute favorites, melancholic, gorgeous beauty, L'Heure Bleue by Guerlain. Now the purple flowers, the sadness, romanticism, and just full-spirited emotion of that fragrance, of the Guerlain's L'Heure Bleue, is kind of echoed in this fragrance. It also has a beautiful iris and violet combination. It has a bit of moss, but it's quite sweet, floral, very purple florals. Maybe some lilacs are hiding in there somewhere. Spring lilacs with a bit of floral sweetness, with a bit of pollen and maybe a little bit of honey somewhere very far away on the background. It is a very floral, lovely, slightly powdery, shy scent. For me, very introverted and delicate. Now, this is not going to be everybody's cup of tea and is certainly no dupe for Guerlain's L'Heure Bleue, which is an absolute masterpiece in my mind. Oscar de la Renta is somewhat less of a somewhat less of a complex philosophical fragrance for me, but rather a very wearable version of it. Of course, like I said, it's not a dupe, not even close, but it is the same vein, it's the same spirit. These purple flowers are very uplifting. They focus you a little bit, at least for me. That's what happens with purple flowers. They usually get me together, get me sort of collected and a bit more focused, a little bit more sharp-minded, although they're not bitchy at all. This is a really delicate floral. I recommend that you check out Esprit d'Oscar if you like sweet florals, if you like romantic fragrances, if you like fragrances that are a bit powdery, if you enjoy lilac and violet as your sort of notes to go to in a fragrance. These are some of my favorite notes, so of course if it's not your thing, then you're not going to like it. If your taste is similar to mine, then perhaps it's going to be a very lovely discovery for you. That's it for today. This is my current rotation. When I switch up my rotation, which happens every couple of weeks, I will talk to you about that. Meanwhile, I'll just continue with some of my reviews, and I have a lot to go through when it comes to my fragrances. All the best. Have a good day. Have fun. Bye bye.